Okay, so what we're going to do now is make this rig official by simply applying the mirror and the subdivision modifier onto our figure. Now when we apply the subdivision modifier, we're going to see some deform issues appear over here on the area of the forearm and the wrist. Now this is normal behavior in Blender. So we're going to fix these issues by using the weight paint tools. Now of course you want to make multiple backup copies of this file before you do this step. Now you're going to have to probably do this lesson a dozen times or so to get used to the idea of using the weight paint tools. So the first thing that we want to do is go ahead and make sure that the figure is selectable and click on the figure and go ahead and go to the modifiers tab. Open up the mirror modifier and the subdivision surface. Now of course we cannot apply this with the eyes part of the figure, otherwise the eyes will get too many vertices. So first what we're going to do is go ahead and zoom in and separate the eyes as a separate object and then join them back later. So go ahead and press the tab key to go into edit mode, click on a vertex on the eye and just do Ctrl L. Now press the Z key to make sure that these are the only vertices that you have selected that have to do with the eye. I'm going to press the Z key to go back into solid view. Now go ahead and press the P key, and over here we're going to do separate by selection. Now go ahead and press the tab key to go back into object mode. So here you can see that these are the eyes. Let's go ahead and click them. So if you press the tab key, you can see that the eyes are a separate object. Go ahead and press the tab key to go back into object mode. Now here what we want to do on the eyes is we're just going to apply the mirror modifier and remove the subdivision. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go to the figure. Now here we're going to apply the mirror modifier, and what we want to do is actually move the subdivision to the top. Make sure that the subdivision view is set to 1 because that's what's going to be applied, not the render. And here we're just going to click on apply. Now what you want to do is in the outliner, click on the eyes, press the shift key down, click on the figure, hover your mouse over here and just do Ctrl J. Okay, now go ahead and press the tab key. So here you can see we've captured the figure with the subdivision level of 1. Go ahead and press the tab key to go back into object mode. Now as I've shown you that now because we don't really have modifiers that are mathematically calculating or adding faces to your figure, now when you, let's say, click on the chessboard and press the R key, you will see that everything is super fast inside the 3D view. Now here, of course, if you want to render a higher version of this figure for your animations, you can simply come back over here and add a subdivision surface. Now of course this means that because it's going to be mathematically generating even more faces based on even more vertices, if you click over here and press the R key, everything is just going to slow down to a crawl. So how do you deal with the situation? What you can do is actually just go to the scene tab. Now here what Blender does, it actually gives you this option called simplify. Rather than clicking on this figure, going to the modifiers and turning off the subdivision, you can actually just leave it on. Go over here and globally simply turn off the subdivisions, make it to 0 in the viewport, right? You can use this. So now if you click over here and press the R key 2 times, you'll see that it works just fine. Okay, so that's the idea behind this. Now if you go over here, click on the figure, you'll see that the modifier is still there, right? So that's a pretty neat feature that Blender offers over here. Of course, these subdivision levels simply means globally whatever you have set up on those subdivision modifiers, that's what this is going to do. It's not going to force somehow the subdivision to be a level of 6 on the modifiers. So if I go over here, you can see that it's set to 2. That's all it's going to do. It's not going to somehow force it to 6. So anyways, that's how that concept is going to be working. So what we want to do is just do Shift C to place the 3D cursor over here, do Control middle mouse button, and let's go under File, do Save As, And here we're going to save this as a rigging lesson 05 f.blend. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take a look at the deform issues that are going to happen in the forearms. So to do this, what you want to do is go ahead and click on the Object tab and make sure that you have wire enabled, and go ahead and zoom in over here. And what you want to do is go ahead and click on the hand.touch.fk.l, press the R key, press the Y key 2 times, and simply just rotate the hand like this, like you would normally. You can see that we're seeing some weird issues. This is normal, as I said, so we have to fix this. Okay, so what we're going to do is go ahead and make sure that first of all the armature is in pose mode. Click on the figure and just go ahead and switch to weight paint. And over here under the options, I'm going to first make sure that this is on none, and you want to make sure that you have X mirror on, so whatever you do to this side happens on the right side. Okay, and if you forget to do this, you can again just delete half of the vertices and just mirror everything again and just apply it. It's no big deal. Anyways, over here I can see that I'm in the vertex arc. I'm going to remove this. Now what we need to do is to get access to the deform bones, because those are the bones that are actually deforming our character. So what we have to do over here, we can actually just click on the armature and the outliner, go to the data tab, press the shift key down, and turn on the deform bones. I'm going to turn off this layer over here. Now if we go back to the figure, we should be back in weight paint. Now let's go ahead and right click on this bone so we can see what's going on. Okay, and what we want to do is click on this bone to see what's going on. You can see that we're getting some weird issues over here, so we can easily fix this. So here we're going to go to the tools. First I'm going to click on a blur. Now again, you have to experiment with this stuff. It doesn't matter what I'm showing you. I'm just showing you how I'm going to fix it. Okay, so here on the blur, now this doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is press the F key over here. Okay, and what I want to do is simply just tap. Right, remember the idea of blur is just going to take the surrounding vertices and make them the same value. I'm going to click on this bone and just tap it a little bit to see what happens, and I can see that it's starting to iron out. I just want to be, I don't want to go all the way over here. I just want to do this. Okay, now I'm going to click on this and now click it. Now you can see that the deforms are automatically fixing themselves. It's a pretty straightforward process. You have to just switch between the bones until you start to see everything ironing out. So that fixes this issue. I'm pretty sure that's going to be something on this side, and I can see some weird issues going on over here. So let me click over here first and just tap a little bit, try to iron everything out as much as I can. Now again, you don't want to overdo this, right? Take your time to understand which bones are influencing which area, and that's it. Okay, that looks over here maybe a little bit. Look over here. Look at this area over here. Again, this is not going to happen in one day. You might have to keep coming back to this until you are satisfied. Everything, this looks okay to me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is actually right click over here to get to the, I'm going to go over here so I can see what bone is it that I'm selecting. Okay, so here you can stare at which bone you've selected over here. Do Alt R, now press the R key, press the Y key 2 times just to take a look at, okay, the deforms are looking much better over here. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and look at, actually let me look at this side over here. Now let me take a look at this thumb. This might get a little involved. Well, if we press the R key, we can see that, okay, we're getting some weird issues over here in this area, so we have to fix these. So first, it's a good idea to understand what is the issue. Okay, so here I'm going to click this. I can see that, okay, something's going on over here. Click this and click on this. Okay, so what I want to do is basically, here I can tell, okay, this has a lot of influence going on in this area, right? Because if I click over here, you can see that not much is going on, not much. So what we're going to do is actually first blur this area a little bit. Click on this, and here I'm just going to blur a few things here. Click on this and blur a few things over here. Now here, when I press the R key 2 times, I can see that, okay, what I need to do over here, I actually need to remove these vertices from this guy over here and add them on the hand, right? Because this bone simply has more influence pretty much all over here, okay? So let's go ahead and see how we're going to do this. So let's click on add. Now here, I'm going to keep the weight value at 1, but the strength, I'm going to bring it down really down. I want to do this very slowly. I'm just going to tap it, okay? I'm just going to, now you can see that I'm giving the hand bone some access over here first, and click over here. This is already there, so this is fine. I'm going to click on the blur and now blur this down a bit. Then click on this. Now here I need to remove stuff, so I'm going to go to multiply, and here we can actually just keep the strength on 1. As I've shown you, you can just bring it down very little over here. It'll start to remove this area over here. Okay, so this is starting to remove. I'm going to click over here, do Alt R, and just check this. So this is starting to work over here. Click over here. Go ahead and click on a blur. Blur some of this out. Let me take a look at on this. Okay, so if I blur this. Now what I like to do is switch to object mode and actually go ahead and now remove this. And click over here, and here I'm just going to test it out. Okay, this is starting to look good. Again, you can, because we have the modifier over here, we can actually turn this back on. So here I'm going to just do this, go to simplify and turn this on just to see what's going on. Okay, so I'm getting better deforms over here. Do Alt R. Now it's going to be a little slow, and that's fine. That's what I want to see. So here I'm just going to actually turn this off because it's getting in my way. I'd rather just do it from here. Okay, I'm going to just turn this off. Click over here and press the R key. Okay, this works. This is looking good. Now I'm going to go over here, click this, and take a look at this. I can see some things going on over here, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm weight paint and press the Z key. If I click over here, you can see that in my case something is moving over here, so I'm going to investigate this. So I can see that, okay, over here I'm going to just blur this out a little bit. Click over here, click this, and blur this. So it's still moving. Maybe I should remove this. So this means that over here I should click on multiply and just tap it a little bit, right? Do this in micro weights or micro strength because it's very sensitive. Okay, so this works. Over here I'm just going to press the R key and just see how everything's working out. It looks pretty good. Okay, so here you get the idea of how to fix these features. So that's settled. I'm going to go back to object mode and press the Z key. Just going to look at this over here. This is working, and of course we want to also check this on this side, and this should be working fine because we have the X mirror feature on. And over here I'm going to actually take a look at this. Now this is going to get a little involved over here. So what I'm going to do is going to go into File, Save As. I'm going to save this as rigging lesson 05G.blend before I continue on. Now let's take a look at what's going on over here. So if I press the R key, I can see that, okay, some weird issue is happening over here. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and switch to weight paint, and let's take a look at what the issue is. I'm going to press the Z key again just so I can see the wireframe. Okay, so if I click over here, this is going in. I'm going to just take an inventory of what's going on. So now this is where you have to be very careful, right? Because as I said, you can overlap stuff. Okay, so here I'm going to actually just make sure that I'm going to do blur on this one. Just blur this out first. Look over here, blur this. Now you can see that it's starting to fix itself once you start blurring things out. You can see that over here, this area has way too much influence. So here I can go and multiply. Make sure that this is set up correctly. And here I'm just going to try this out. Yep, it's starting to come out just the way I want it. Okay. See, like over here, you want to be very careful that you don't touch this. So you just want to take your time with this stuff. Okay, and here we're going to just do a little bit of blur over here. Kind of iron this out. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and now switch to object mode, press the Z key, click over here, do Alt R, and now take a look at how this is working. Okay. I'm going to press the 7 key, click over here, so if arm is out. Okay, so you have to kind of like look it over here. This looks pretty decent to me. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to do Alt A, Alt R, and G to reset everything. And everything else should be just fine. These are basically the issues that you have to deal with. And you can see that it's pretty easy to fix these deform issues over here. Now this, I believe, is set on IK, so I'm going to remove this, click over here, and just take a look at some of these issues over here. Okay, so over here I'm seeing some weird thing happening right here on his stomach. In my case, you might not get this, so I'm going to take a look at what this is about. Press the Z key, click over here. Okay, click this, click over here. Okay, so it looks like this has some influence. So here I'm going to go to options, click on active to see what. Okay, so it looks like there's some influence coming in here. Now this is the tricky area to get in. I'm going to press the R key to come down a bit, click over here, go to tools, and here I'm just going to do multiply, right? Just tapping it until it starts to go away. And of course, click this, press the R key to see that you're not getting that weird issue. So here I'm just basically removing little by little until it stops moving that much. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click this. Oops. I'm going to go ahead and switch to object mode, press the Z key, click over here. Now it's fixed. Click over here. And again, I believe this is also an IK. Remove this. Look over here. And this is fixed. Okay. So now I'm happy with my results over here. I'm going to do Shift C to place the 3D cursor. Go to the data tab, turn this off, turn the root boat on. Select everything, use Control middle mouse button. Okay. And that's how you fix that. So let's go under File and do one final save over here. Okay, so I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.